Now, I also want to say a word about something else that's been going on over the course of the last several hours and last night, which I think is also shameful. And that is questioning the patriotism, questioning the dedication to country of people like Mr. Vindman, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, who will be coming today, and others who have testified. I think that we need to show that we are better than that as a nation. Their patriotism, their love of country. We're talking about decorated veterans who have served this nation, who have put their lives on the line, and it is shameful to question their patriotism, their love of this nation, and we should not be involved in that process.
This is Liz Cheney, the number 3 Republican in the House, responding to the latest GOP strategy of just blanket defaming anyone who dares criticize Trump. To be clear, Liz Cheney is the epitome of Republican partisanship in Congress, so for even her to condemn attacks like these says a lot. In this case, Republicans have set out to attack Army Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman, a decorated Iraq War veteran and Purple Heart recipient who also serves as the top Ukraine expert on the National Security Council. He was on the infamous Trump call with Ukrainian President Zelensky and twice registered internal objections. He's now testifying to investigators in the House against what he saw as the partisan play of making foreign aid conditional upon political investigations, claiming that it would, quote, all undermine U.S. national security. And yet that hasn't stopped Republicans from leaning on disgraceful defenses to protect Trump from yet another devastating testimony.
I want to go back to the beginning here because it's been nagging at me the whole time here, which is that when I asked you about Colonel Vindman, the very first thing you said was he was Ukrainian. So yes or no, do you trust Ambassador Bill Taylor more because he was born in the United States? Where does the location of his birth matter? Mark Meadows, who I think you agree with, was born in France. Is he pro-French by definition? That's a pretty stunning comment you made just there. And it's remarkable and notable given that Laura Ingraham last night in her apparent talking points brought it up as well.
So I read his statement, John, and I'm sure you did as well. And it seems very clear that he is incredibly concerned about Ukrainian defense. I don't know that he's concerned about American policy, but his main mission was to make sure that the Ukraine got those weapons. I understand that. We all have an affinity to our homeland where we came from. Like me, I'm sure that Vindman has the same affinity. Or like Mark Meadows.
I'm just sorry. Are you suggesting that you would put Irish defense over U.S. defense? Is that what you're saying, Congressman?
So are we saying that by giving this money to the Ukraine, that absolutely is the money that's going to secure American national defense against Russia? I mean, I don't believe that. And so he's entitled to his opinion. He has an affinity, I think, for the Ukraine. He speaks Ukrainian. He came from the country, and he wants to make sure they're safe and free. I understand that.
That's an asset for this country.
My point is the president is the one who gets to set the policy, and he's the one who looks out for America first and the American taxpayer and the American citizens. And he'll take advice from all kinds of people.
Are you saying that Colonel Vindman, a decorated war veteran, isn't looking out for America first, yes or no?
I don't know what he's. I think what
you can't say yes that Colonel Vindman.
All your viewers to read it.
You can't say that he's looking out for America first. You can't say that Colonel Vindman, a decorated war veteran, is looking out for America first.
By the way, the guy suggesting that Vindman has dual loyalties to Ukraine is Sean Duffy, a former Republican congressman turned CNN commentator. And while Vindman emigrated to the United States at the age of 3 as a Jewish refugee, went on to graduate from Cornell, deployed to South Korea, then Germany, then Iraq, where he was wounded by a roadside bomb and was awarded a Purple Heart, then became an Army Foreign Area Officer specializing in Russia for the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, before ultimately joining the National Security Council in 2018, Sean Duffy spent his post-college career on MTV's The Real World, and then the Real World Road Rules Challenge. According to Wikipedia, he also started log rolling at age 5. So yeah, in terms of credentials, these guys are basically the same. But it wouldn't matter what Vindman's credentials are because this isn't about any facts, it's about defending Trump at all costs. So if that means trying to defame Vindman, an active service member who's dedicated his entire life to our armed forces, as somehow not patriotic, then that's what the right is going to do. At some point though, Republicans are going to have to face the facts that there have been a slew of Trump-appointed public servants and military veterans who've testified under oath that the president used his public office for personal gain. Aside from Vindman, there was Bill Taylor, the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine and a 50-year public servant who was handpicked by Trump's Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. There was Marie Yovanovitch, the former ambassador to Ukraine and a member of the United States Foreign Service. There was Fiona Hill, who served for more than 30 years across 6 administrations. Kurt Volker, the former special envoy to Ukraine. Laura Cooper, the Pentagon official overseeing Ukraine policy. all of these people have testified the truth, that Trump moved to extort Ukraine into helping him defame Joe Biden. At some point, Republicans need to choose whether it's really worth it to pretend that these diplomats and veterans are part of some deep state cabal to take down the president who appointed them, or if maybe, just maybe, Trump committed an impeachable offense and got caught. And to be sure, while this might be the latest offense on the right, it's by no means the last. To date, Republicans have said that the whistleblower is a partisan and can't be trusted, despite the fact that not only do we not know their identity, but everything in the complaint has been proven 100% true. Republicans said that the whistleblower isn't allowed to rely on secondhand information, even though it's perfectly acceptable and legal to do so. Republicans said Adam Schiff personally counseled the whistleblower, even though it was a staff member of his who correctly advised the whistleblower to seek legal counsel and file a complaint with the Intel Community Inspector General. Republicans said the whole impeachment process is unconstitutional, even though it is in the Constitution. Republicans claim that Democrats are holding secret impeachment hearings in the basement of the Capitol to unilaterally reverse the outcome of the 2016 election and have Trump removed from office, even though Democrats are following rules enacted by Republicans in 2015. Republicans said there was no quid pro quo, only to have everyone from Alex Vindman to Bill Taylor to Gordon Sondland to Trump's own chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, confirm that there was indeed a quid pro quo. And look, while I'm sure we're still in for an avalanche of BS justifications, the right should probably realize that bouncing from one excuse to the next is only destroying what shred of credibility they might have been clinging on to. So the GOP might stick to its scorched earth policy, but the fact is that it only serves to make them look even more desperate and more guilty with each passing day.